Great. We're very pleased to have with us today Carlos Ruiz Massieu, the Special Representative of the Secretary General for Haiti and head of the UN Integrated Office in that country. He briefed the Security Council yesterday afternoon, as you know, and now he's here to talk to you. Welcome.
Thank you, Farhan, and thanks to everyone for being here. It's always a pleasure to come. I haven't come in a while, I think, personally. But now in this position, it's really a pleasure. And actually, after the Security Council meeting yesterday, which was a very positive meeting, again, the reiteration of the Security Council on the support to Haiti is rather clear. I think after the decision, after the resolution adopted transitioning to the gang suppression force to establish the also mission of the UN to support those efforts, the extension of the sanctions regime and the work for the panel of experts are materialization clearly of that political will, and in many ways this is so needed. As you know, you are aware of the situation of the country. You are aware of the situation of the security of the country, with more than 16,000 people dead from January 2022 because of armed violence. The humanitarian situation that you're aware of 1.4 million at this stage of displaced persons. The political process that has been also affected by the lack of security conditions going forward. So this support now need to be materialized evidently in the next few months in the deployment of the also in the deployment of the gang suppression force or the transition, and in full deployment of the GSF. It's rather important. Evidently, we have, as a UN system, we need to continue working with the Haitians in every aspect to help them face this multifaceted crisis in all aspects, including in the case of BINU, on the political process, on advising the government, now more important than ever, in continue building capacity of their institutions, including the police, and as an integrated mission in other aspects like the criminal law, human rights standards, police development, CBR, DDR, and other aspects of our mandate, including and most on the political process through our good offices, in order for the country to move forward when the conditions are adequate on elections, and if conditions are not to be held before February 7, which is likely at this stage, then to help them found an arrangement that will continue after February 7, because, as you know, the current transitional arrangements run until February 7, and is a process that the Haitians are leading themselves, but the UN are there to support them in avoiding a political vacuum. We made a comment yesterday in our intervention about that the transitional clock is ticking, so there's a need to move forward, and we are there evidently to support them in this endeavor. So we will continue to work there. The mission has increased its presence because of the evacuation needs that we had in the past. So day by day, we are having additional capacities to continue to do our work, and we look forward, evidently, to continue helping. And I look forward for this exchange if there are any questions or comments in regards to the situation, in regards to our role, in regards to what's ahead. So a pleasure as always.
Great. We'll open up the floor to questions now. Yes, Evelyn?
Hi, Evelyn Leopold. Thank you for your briefing on behalf of the UN Correspondents Association. I have seen some suggestions that the United States and Canada should send in some French-speaking troops and start clearing up the tremendous violence that's occurring. Is anyone taking that seriously, or is it just a suggestion in left field?
Perfect. Should I address it? There's any more?
Sure.
Yes.
Sure, sure. We'll take them one at a time.
Thank you for the question. Well, at this stage, all the fourth generation, in terms of the GSF, if that is the aim, are on the hands of the Standing Group of Partners, which is this architectural institution that was created as well by Resolution 2793, and they are, I am sure and I'm convinced they are doing all the work as we speak in order to ensure that the ceiling that was established of 5,550 will be fulfilled in order to help the Haitians move forward. I'm sure that they are looking internally, those countries that have been committed historically to help Haiti, and they are looking elsewhere, even in the Western Hemisphere, in the Latin American region, but also to maintain, if possible, the support that the Kenyans have provided during these years. Now, we would say in the UN rehatted as the GSF, and even through other countries. One important aspect is also that because of the time that they will take to have the full deployment of the force, that all the help that can be provided also as soon as possible, besides the security operations that the Haitians themselves with the National Haitian Police, with the multinational force and now GSF in the country, and other means that they have to increase security is important to continue, because we need to avoid at all costs that the situation worsen. We report in our latest report that the situation in Port-au-Prince has been maintained, has not improved but not worsening. But we also report that there's an advance of more activities in advance of the gangs in other departments, Department of Artibonite, the departments of Center, and recently the Northwest. So it's important to maintain, hopefully to improve the situation, while the GSF is fully deployed, and whoever really can provide additional support to the GSF and to Haiti in general, I think is very much welcome because of the dire situation that they are facing.
Thank you. Jacqueline Charles?
Hi, thank you for doing this. I have two questions. The first question is a follow-up to what was announced about WFP with the hurricane, with the storm coming. I know that WFP has been saying that they did not have the means to pre-position food. So what does that look like right now? And then the second question is in relation to some concerns that were raised both yesterday during the debate and also in the report about the kamikaze drones that the government is using in the gang fight. Air India Dash issued a report late last night that said, for instance, in September 20th, there were at least 8 children who were killed. There have been 20 drone strikes. And while there have been no major gang leaders that have been killed, their foot soldiers, many of whom are children, have been killed. And so I'm wondering, what is your position on this? They're also saying that these operations should not be entrusted to the political authorities. So as we're talking about GSF, as we're talking about a more lethal, more aggressive force, does the UN have some concerns about how these kamikaze drones are being used in the gang fight? And have you given any advice or raised this with the government?
Perfect. Thank you, Jackie, for very important questions. Yeah, I mean, in terms of the WFP, as you reported, it's a very difficult situation, very dire situation. They're still doing what they can through also the neighboring countries to get the whatever aid they can get in order for preparations for the hit of the tropical storm, maybe hurricane if it develops like that. As you know, in the case of Haiti, it's been a country that has been hitting by natural disasters, throughout its history. We hope it can avoid the hit on Melissa, but still they need to be prepared, and we are working with them as we speaking now. We talked to them just before the meeting to see what else we can do. We are getting soon potentially some additional air assets from other missions, like in Colombia, in the nearest couple of days, and we hope, if needs be, that we can use those assets to preposition whatever we can in case of need. But we will be giving you a bit more information on that as we receive it. In terms of human rights, and in terms of the attacks or the security operations that uses certain instruments that in the past have been reported, including on our reports, on the collateral hits to a larger population, to children. We already not only reported, but we advise the authorities on the information that we have. We offer, actually, we have offered already to monitor constantly the activities of whatever measures they implement in order to make them aware first if there is the highest risk of hitting a population at large, let alone children. And also, as we do with the Haitian National Police, more institutionally, as we do with obviously the MSS as part of the endeavor in the past, and will do with the GSF in terms of providing all the training needed so they abide by the principles of human rights in terms of proportionality, in terms of accountability, but also the training they need in general in order to avoid these situations. And with the government, what we will try to do is to offer to the government all additional capacity that they may need to implement this, or to make sure that when they conduct security operations of whatever nature they decide to conduct, they have, the government, all the information needed in order to abide by these principles and to avoid the situations that we have faced in the past. Because at the end of the day, the government can implement whatever security measures they believe they need to implement in order to reduce gang violence, in order to increase security, but in whatever decision they take and to utilize whatever measures they take is obviously the Haitian government, the Haitian authorities have the obligations to abide by the human rights standards, and we will be working with them on that. So that's what I can share with you today.
Gabriel?
Well, thank you very much for the briefing. Gabriel Elizondo from Al Jazeera English. Thanks a lot for the briefing. I'm just, in full disclosure, I'm kind of refocusing my attention on Haiti after being distracted with other hot spots around the world for the last couple weeks or months. But I'll take this opportunity, since you're here, to just ask two questions. One is, in your remarks to the council yesterday, you were talking about urgently getting BNUA staff back to 100% in the capital urgently. And I'm just curious, where have they been? Is the callback because the security situation isn't any better? So is it because of the changeover to the GSF? Or can you just give a little more details on what that's all about, and how many staff you plan to have back fully staffed there, and when? And then the second question is on the GSF. What's your understanding in terms of what you're thinking, in terms of what you're hearing about when it'll be stood up, time frame wise? And will there be some sort of handover from MSF to GSF? If you could just give a little your thoughts and what you're hearing on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, the vision, BINU, because of the situation and the worsening of the situation on the security front, along with other entities of the UN, had to be evacuated twice in the last couple of years. So because we didn't have the evacuation capacity needed in order that if it presents itself some situation like those that were present, we couldn't increase our ceiling of the presence of international staff because the national staff was in town until rather recently. When I arrived in the mission, the number of international staff deployed at one single time on the ground was the maximum was 17 because of the advice of our Department of Safety and Security. So in other words, we needed to increase our evacuation capacity in order to bring the staff back. For me, has been a priority from day one because we understand that many embassies are working on the basis of their essential staff only because of the situation. But in the case of the UN, we have to be there to deliver because of the role we play, because of the trust we have, and because of it's part of our mandate. So what we have done is to different means. On the one hand, through arrangements with the humanitarian colleagues that have the evacuation assets, to try to change the system in order to increase the overall ceiling for the staff to come back. Second, we engage with the Dominican Republic that very generously have offered to evacuate BINU in case of need. And thirdly, we have also secured additional resources in order to have different standby agreements for helicopters to come and collect us if needs be. So with that, already by first week of November, the mission will be back around 75% of the international capacity, 84% of the overall capacity of the mission. And by the end of the year, or before the year ends, we will have 100% capacity of the mission. And that will allow us then really to deliver fully our mandate, and that was one part besides continue working with the Haitian authorities on the political process, on the good offices, on CBR, DDR, and other activities. But it was important because I think we need to have every asset on the ground to really be in a position to help Haiti in fully, as we were since I arrived in the country 2 months ago. Thank you. There was another question? The GSF, the deployment, you asked. Yeah, well, according to the resolution, the office of the UN should be there by 31st March in country. The ONSO, our enabler presence, would say. And the GSF should be probably in full deployment. That doesn't mean that they will have all the deployment after that, but in full deployment a couple of months later. So probably we're talking about, I have to say that in last point is the standing group of partners are the ones in charge of fourth generation. So probably they will be the ones that can give you more specific details. This is general information, but I want to just to put a grain of salt because I don't want to say something that then it'll be taken as not completely true.
Yes, please.
Yeah, thank you for the briefing. My name is Sean from Xinhua. I have a technical question. What will be the relationship between BINU and the new UN office that will provide logistical support for the GSF? In my understanding, you're heading BINU, where you also head the new UN office. So what's the relationship? Thank you.
Perfect. Yeah, the new office, the support office, in its nature, as you know and as we discussed, is a logistics, admin, support, in different kinds, equipment, and with the normal, let's say, COE system of packages of reimbursing equipment that the troops bring, etc. They will have operational independence, which is very important because their main role it will be to provide the GSF with all what is needed. They actually will provide to us also admin support for our work, so we don't duplicate a mission, a political mission with a support structure where you have a very much support mission in country. But as you said, as a representative of the Secretary General, as head of the UN system, we need to make sure that all the pieces of the UN work well coordinated with a single objective of helping Haiti in different aspects, the agencies, funds, and programs in the humanitarian response, in the development needs, and all the mandates that I don't need to probably explain too much in detail, as you know them very well. And we will be in charge of the political work, but we need to make sure that all the system works in a coordinated way. So the relationship will be the one that normally we'll have as when you have an SRG and you have different presences, that make sure that we are all part of a UN that potentially and hopefully, and that's the aim, will deliver as one, and we will take advantage of a huge opportunity really with all the measures that have been taken to deliver to the Haitian people, to really support the Haitian people in these moments of crisis. So that it basically will be the role of, more than the mission, of the SRSG. Being part of, also being heading the mission, but at the end is that coordination, that coherence that we'll need to do, and we take advantage really because it's the best way that we can have and that we do have to deliver what is expected from us. And this is a good opportunity, it's a new opportunity that we have, and we need to do our part.
So basically, can we say the new office, support office, will be part of the GSF instead of part of BNU?
No, the new office is not part of the GSF. It's a standalone office that have different clients. Main client is the GSF because of the specific needs of equipment logistics for doing their purpose. Second client is BNU because they have to provide us with admin support as well. And even they will be supporting OAS in a specific project that they have to support the Haitian National Police. So those are probably in that order the clients for given support. But as a UN standalone office, operationally, also is a part of UN system that I have to coordinate on behalf of the Secretary General. I hope that's more clear. Thank you.
Yes, Zainab.
As Haiti is unsafe, are you or will you coordinate with the gangs to secure your staff in the field there?
No, the presence of the mission and the presence of the UN in general are currently in areas where the gangs do not have control or influence the presence. Evidently, our colleagues that work particularly in the humanitarian world, that they need humanitarian access to those areas where the gangs are, they need to engage in order to ensure that they have access to the population in those areas to do their work. That's the main interaction there is. At the end of the day, the interaction, the Haitian authorities have been very clear in terms of when they put a line on not negotiating with the gangs, as they are considered criminal groups, not political actors, and it, I would say that in order to be available to or open to discuss with gangs. Not only the government has to be in agreement, but they have to be incentives and viability of taking this to a different situation. We really hope that with the activities that the GSF will do, there will be, and that's what I was linking it with the CBR-DDR. There will be more incentives for those that have been involved in criminal activities to voluntarily disengage from the gangs. And then we need to have a strategy on behalf of the government, resources available in order that we can have a clear path for those that today are gang members, that in many ways are almost half of them are children, that we can help them get out of those activities, we can provide them those, and if by this situation there's some kind of interaction also is needed in order to help these people to get out, maybe at that time interaction will be possible with the gangs, but still is too far away. As I said, it's clear that they've been acting through criminal activities against the population, and the decision of the government and of the international community is really to tackle them as groups that have been that are against the law and order, and that they should be then tackled in the way that the council has decided, which is increasing the capacity to face them in a way that will make the law and order prevail in Haiti and liberate the population from their influence, domination that they have done, and all the damage they have done to not only the Port-au-Prince but other areas, and to the communities that have imply a lot of killings, a lot of displacements, and at this stage there's no room for really engaging with them other than for humanitarian access.
Are your staff multinational or just local?
The staff of the UN?
UN.
No, it's international and local.
It's both.
It's both, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm afraid that they will face the same as thieves. Okay, they will get captured or held there, so it will be like problematic. So exceptionally, they are gangs, so they are not authorized or recognized. That's why.
No, it's true. We need to make sure that whatever we do, we protect our staff in the best possible way, considering their situation. But and even though in the past we have had instances of being the national staff in difficult situation, we need to make sure that we have everything in place to protect them as well.
And with that, I'd like once more to thank our guest, Carlos Ruiz Massieu. Thanks very much. And have a good afternoon, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Frank.